Today, with Salesforce Analytics, we're closing the gap between data and decisions for every Salesforce user.
Tableau gives us that ability to take the insights happening from our product and service delivery and marketing and campaigns and sales and gives you that single view across the business. I don't know how we'd run the company without it.
How can we run the business better? We're all empowered and we've got shared trusted context. It allows us to make faster decisions for our business. It's limitless.
In the future, building agents connected to Tableau provides us the ability to bring together all of the data across different parts of Indeed, Marketing, Sales, Service Cloud to fuel these agentic experiences.
The bar has risen and the way that people think about insights is completely different. Tableau enables us to get closer to that vision in a way that no other product does.
Hello everyone, welcome and thanks for joining today's live event, Unlock the Power of Your Salesforce Data with Analytics. I'm your host, Diane Mizota, here at Salesforce headquarters in San Francisco. Now we're excited to show you the future of Salesforce Analytics and how you can put relevant, smart, and actionable insights natively in the hands of every CRM user, from sales reps to service agents in every industry. A ton of innovation is coming your way over the next 40 minutes, like new pre-built analytics apps, conversational analytics, and much more. Here's a quick look ahead. First, we're going to dive into how the future of agentic analytics for CRM will help you unlock the full potential of your data. Then, it's demo time. We'll show you purpose-built analytics apps, AI-powered insights in the flow of work, and unified data with trusted business context in action. And finally, we'll hear from our customer Reddit about how they're supercharging their sales team to make smarter, faster decisions with Salesforce Analytics. And if you've got any questions along the way, just drop them into the chat because we have product experts standing by ready to answer you. All right, we're going to get to it. I would like to welcome Chief Product Officer of Tableau, Southard Jones, and Chief Marketing Officer of Tableau, Rekha Srivatsan. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Now, Southard, I'd like you to set the context here. What's the biggest challenge you're hearing from customers when it comes to analytics?
I think the challenge that our customers have, and just about every company has today, is that in order to get an answer to a question, they have to go find a dashboard somewhere. Then that means searching through thousands of dashboards that exist. And then if they're lucky to find the dashboard, then they pull down some filters and try to get an answer to a question. It's not in the context of where they work, and it's not necessarily easy to do. So overwhelmingly, what we hear from our customers is they want insights in the flow of work. They don't want their customer-facing people looking for data, searching for data, searching for insights. They want something delivered to them that is right there in front of them so they can have it. So let's take an example. Here is your CRM experience. And this is an opportunity page. Many of you are likely familiar with it. It's a beautiful, well-designed, modern interface. It gives you information about your opportunities, your products, your activities. At the same time, if I have a question about how I advance this opportunity forward, I don't really see it here. So let's imagine a different view of this opportunity page. Now here, you can see this opportunity page has the insights that I need to advance this opportunity forward, or perhaps information about what other opportunities are similar to it that I can use to help me close this opportunity. And on the right, I have that conversational experience. If I have a question that I want answered, I can just literally type it in natural language and get responses. That's inside the flow of work. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what we're unveiling is contextual insights for users built for them specifically in their flow.
Amazing. Now, Rekha, we just heard about the tactical challenge Salesforce users are facing. Let's talk about the impact on the bigger view, the impact to the business.
Absolutely. Like the best part of this is for everyone, whether you're a sales user, a service user, marketing user, operations, or you're an SMB, or you're an enterprise. Like we see this across all the teams. The biggest challenge that everybody has today is the fact that you have too much data. I have never heard a team that said, I don't have enough data. In fact, they keep telling us that they don't have enough insights. So for us to be able to put the insights right where they work, in the flow of work, like Southard said, is an absolute game changer. And when we find that more teams spend time getting those insights, the better it is because they get to do their job better. They get to serve their customers better. They get to help the teams do better work. And one of the things that I absolutely love about Salesforce Analytics is the way they come together, right? We have 4 key things that I want to highlight here. The first one is the accelerating the time to value, insights right where they work. And that comes with pre-built apps, whether sales, service, marketing. You're going to see that today. The second one is how that helps you power those decisions in a much, much, much faster way because you have those contextual, actionable insights right there. Number 3, like Sadat said, ask a question. Having a conversation with your data really reimagines the whole experience that you have with analytics. And then the last one is the best part, which is it's all built on one scalable, flexible platform. So that is the power of Salesforce Analytics. So you can be in Slack, you can be in Salesforce CRM on your phone or using Agentforce. Insights will meet you where you are in the moment to move faster.
I mean, what a huge time saver. That's amazing. Now, Southard, I have 3 words: trusted, contextual, insights. Can you break that down for us?
Sure. To help understand the word trusted, I think I'll share an experience that many of us have already had. You find a dashboard, you see a metric, there's a value next to it, and then you go into a meeting and there's a coworker, and they have another dashboard. Same metric name, different value. That's not trust. And in fact, you spend all this time figuring out where'd you get your data, who said that, where did it come from? You're not driving business value at all, and in fact, you're losing trust in your metrics. So we have a way to solve that. It's called something called the semantic layer. We're going to be demoing it later. We're going to show it to you and show it more. But in short, what it gives is a single source of truth for all your metrics that any business user can look at and know it's certified by a data steward and see where that data actually came from. The next part is contextual, and that's a little bit about what Rekha was just talking about. And that means that whether or not you're a sales rep or a service manager, you want an insight that's specific and personalized to you inside of the screen you're working on. So that means if I'm on the cases screen, I want insights about that particular case or that set of cases. If I'm on the opportunity page, I want insights about that opportunity is personalized to me. So that means that insight has to understand the context the page is on. We can do that. We're part of Salesforce. We can embed that right inside of all those Salesforce native screens. That's almost impossible for anybody else to do, and that's contextual.
That's awesome. Now let's talk real world impact. Rekha, do you have some examples you can share with us?
Oh, absolutely. You're actually going to hear one from Reddit because they are a high growth company and they also have a lot of data, which means they want to know how to put that to work and do it in a much faster, smarter way. So you'll hear directly from the Reddit team about how they did it. But the best part of my job is because as a CMO, I get to use Tableau and analytics in my everyday work. My team and I drown in Slack, which means that we have all the data we need within that. And we are able to take those Tableau insights, put it in Slack, and we talk about it with one context. I don't have to go find another report or a dashboard, send that to someone on my team, and then figure out whether they have access or not. And that time has already evolved. So we don't have to do that anymore because I have analytics right in Slack, and we get to communicate together and confidently act on those pretty quickly. And that is the power of portfolio. So whether you are a Salesforce customer that hasn't dipped your toes into analytics or you're just getting started with analytics, Salesforce Analytics is here in one unified platform for you. We lovingly call it interoperable, which means they seamlessly work between different products, and you have data, you have insights now, and you can take your actions right where you work.
Amazing. Now let's talk about timing. Southard, why now? Why is it so important that businesses get it right at this time?
Yeah, and I think there's 2 parts to that. One is you're a business leader today. Your CEO has likely said, how are we going to get more from AI? Everyone feels that imperative. And you said earlier, and we all talked about this is a time saver. You don't have to go buy an AI platform and build this. We have pre-built it for you. We're giving you conversational analytics. We're giving you insights right there in the flow so that your sales reps, your service managers, your marketers can be more productive today. And they can deliver better experiences for your customer. So one is just you can do what people have been demanding for you. The second part of it is if you're not doing that, you're being left behind because your competitors likely are. And my simple analogy is in your personal life, if you're still doing old school internet searches, you're behind. If you haven't used ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, then I'm sorry, you're behind. You're not catching up with everybody else. This is the exact same analogy. If you're not leveraging this type of capabilities in your business, you're going to be behind.
Amazing. Well, thank you both for those insights on insights, and we'll check back in with you in just a minute. But now it's demo time. Let's see Salesforce native analytics in action. First up, Emma Anand, Director of Product Marketing, with demo driver John Denby, Director of Product Management. Emma, what are we about to see?
Diane, thanks so much. We're going to be walking through a number of our purpose-built analytics apps for sales, for service, marketing, and even industries. Having spent the last 8 years working with Salesforce customers, I've seen that often the hardest part is really just knowing where to start with your Salesforce data. And we're making this even easier with over 40 apps that deliver consistent, out-of-the-box insights for every team with just a few clicks. John, let's dive in. So I'm a marketer, and every morning I start my day with a similar question. How are my campaigns performing? Well, in the past, answering that could mean pulling manual reports and stitching together information across a number of different places, but not anymore. With marketing intelligence, I start with a real-time AI-generated summary. At a glance, I can understand the factors driving performance, like maybe a high conversion rate. And if I want to dig deeper, I can dive into the metrics. And here I can see things like ROI and impressions, and see how I'm tracking against my set benchmarks. Because these metrics come predefined, the entire team stays aligned on the same numbers, which means that we're spending less time finding and more time acting. Now, while marketing really starts the customer journey, service is what turns it into customer loyalty. And with service insights, I get immediate visibility into case volume, CSAT, and resolution times, all available with just a few clicks. Rich insights help me move past the what into the why, like identifying exactly which support topics might be driving escalations. I can even see case distribution across chat, email, and other channels, and that really helps me load balance across the team. And these days, our teams are not only made up of human reps, but they're also made up of AI agents too. And with agent analytics, leaders can actually track deflection, escalation trends across the digital workforce. And this really helps us pinpoint exactly where AI agents might be doing well and maybe where a human needs to step in. Insights like agent effectiveness and quality can really help to improve agent-led resolution so humans can focus on that higher value work. This is using data to drive outcomes, aligning humans and agents together to really elevate that customer experience. Now, we've seen some department-specific insights, but we realize that a lot of industries really speak their own language. And we have more than 15 pre-built industry apps that layer in that industry expertise and simplify that complexity. Now, let's take financial services. We know that we have a number of you online with us today. Out of the box, you get complex calculations like assets under management or household wealth, so advisors can really focus on being growth partners for their clients. And for our manufacturers, we can bring that same level of precision, but on a product-centric view, like maybe how individual products are trending against sales agreements, really turning that supply chain data into a clear map for growth. Regardless of the industry, every business thrives on predictable pipeline, and we support several robust sales use cases. So let me take you through a few of them right now. I'm going to step into the shoes of a sales leader here at Cirrus. With revenue intelligence, I'm not just watching the numbers, I'm actually staying ahead of them to improve win rates and forecast more accurately. I can use forecast insights to keep sales on track, to monitor velocity, growth rate, and pipe coverage. This actually helps me spot trends early and take corrective action. For example, let's say someone on my team might be consistently lowering their forecast. They might need some extra help. And to protect the rest of my pipeline, I can use smart account management. And this gives me a holistic view across account health and win rates. When I take a look at what's most at risk, I can actually dig in to see contributing factors across open opportunities or recent activities on that account. This actually helps me turn complex data points into coachable moments for my team to make sure they're focused on the right engagement tactics. Now, while it's great to have these insights at my fingertips, the reality is I don't always have the time to go looking for them, right? So I can actually get proactive alerts. And here I can see that win rate is down. Gone are the days of discovering trends after the fact. These personalized insights actually find me in my flow of work so I can take action before it's too late. As I click into that, I can see the Sales Insights app and all of the metrics that matter most to me and how I'm tracking against them. And these are real-time and predefined, so I know that they're consistent. After I take a look across all the other numbers, it's really time to address this dip in win rate with my team. And without even having to leave this tab, I can quickly share the metric over to Slack, where I can continue the discussion around data in my team channel. These are purpose-built insights for Salesforce by Salesforce. With analytics apps, you're simplifying setup and moving straight to value with immediate actionable insights on day one.
Great job, Emma. Thank you for that. Now, Rekha Southard, what's the big takeaway for Salesforce users here?
I think one is just time to value. Like, no matter if you're an insurance company or a horizontal sales tech organization or a service organization or manufacturer, we built that pre-built information. So that means you turn it on when you turn on Salesforce, and it's just there. It just works. Gone are the days of piping data out of Salesforce and bringing it over to some other place and trying to create a warehouse and all the rest of that. It's all pre-built, so rapid time to value. The second part, which is perhaps less obvious to everyone who's watching, but I think anyone who's ever tried to maintain this is, it's very easy to maintain. It's low cost. Because as part of that Salesforce instance, all the security just flows. All your configuration just flows. Your users just flow. You don't have to remap those. The data is there. You don't have to remap anything. When something changes in Salesforce, it changes in your analytics. So that, from an IT perspective, means this is easy, low cost to maintain, and it just works.
Love that.
First of all, great demo, Emma and John. I want to double down on what Sadat said. The purpose-built nature of it is just the most critical part of this, right? Like you heard Emma say, we have 40 plus apps, and every team operates differently, like whether it's a sales team or service team or marketing team. So we help you get started with the job that you're trying to get done, and we have these insights for specific roles across that. So you're a sales rep trying to close a case, you don't have to leave that to go to another dashboard. You can literally take that action right there. And I know we've said in the flow of work right there multiple times, but I can't stress the importance of how cool and critical that is when you're working through hundreds of cases on a day-to-day basis. So that's what we are built for. We'll give you insights right there so you can do your job faster and more efficient. So it's an absolute game changer.
I love it. All right, well, not only is it easy for you to get started fast for any use case, but next up, we're going to show you how Salesforce Analytics puts actionable AI-powered insights right into the flow of work. Steve Brown, Senior Distinguished Solution Engineer, is here with our next demo. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Diane. Now, every sales rep knows the morning scramble, jumping around from tab to tab just to figure out where to start the day. I've heard from so many customers and sales leaders who've said they don't want their reps to have to search for data. They want the insights to proactively find their reps. In the era of agentic analytics, this is exactly what happens. Now, I'll play this role of a sales rep, and I start my day in Slack Mobile, where I'm able to collaborate with my team on live metrics while I'm on the go. And here I see that my manager, Emma, flagged a drop in win rate. Now, I'm a good sales rep, so I need to look into this for my own accounts. With Salesforce Analytics, I can simply ask, what are the top accounts that have opportunities at risk? Now, in the past, this would trigger me searching for hours, digging through reports, seeing if my territory is dragging down the average. It's reactive and it's slow. But with Salesforce Analytics, Agentforce does the heavy lifting for me. Behind the scenes, there's a semantic model that connects my business terms like top accounts, opportunities at risk, to the underlying data, and I get an accurate response. And when I get those responses, it's not just a single row of data. I have a personalized, AI-driven narrative and visualization that meets me right where I am in the flow of work. And this data that's being used, it might be coming from Salesforce or even outside of Salesforce. This is like having a 24/7 on-demand sales ops analyst right here in Slack, helping me close more business faster. Now, when I'm back in the office, I want to dig into one of those accounts a little bit further. So I jump to an account page in Salesforce where those insights find me, sure enough, embedded directly here where I work. And these aren't just pictures of data, they're interactive and intelligent. They automatically respect my permissions, my role. This filters out the noise and lets me focus on specific actions that I can take on this account. This is the power of Salesforce native analytics. Now, on the right, I see this account has a low propensity to buy. And that's concerning considering the win rate across my team is dropping. But even more important than this what is the why. And here I can see that a primary driver is open support cases. I don't have to pivot to a different view or send a message and wait. I have full visibility into those open cases right here in the flow of work. And best of all, I can turn these insights into action. I simply click and escalate these open cases, and this triggers a cross-departmental workflow. That is closing the gap between insight and action, right where I work. So now that I have my team swarming to help this customer, let's see what else I can do. I see another key point of friction is their limited product footprint. So how can I sweeten the deal with products that they're likely to buy? Well, I simply ask Agentforce, which products will perform best for this account? This is going to look at other accounts similar to this one to see what products they've purchased in the past. This uses that same semantic data model behind the scenes, and that can connect to Salesforce data and data outside of Salesforce, maybe ERP data, your order data, maybe a cloud data lake or data warehouse. And that predictive model itself actually can also come from outside of Salesforce. So right here in the flow of work, we can surface this data real estate from across your entire enterprise. And here, Agentforce recommends specific products to focus on for this customer. Now this is actionable insight, and I need to share it with the rest of my team. So I simply tell Agentforce, summarize these insights and share it to Slack. And just like that, a message is sent to my team channel in Slack, all on my behalf, automating like 5 steps into one seamless natural language request. This keeps everyone in the loop and lets me leverage the full power of my organization, because as we all know, sales is a team sport. With Salesforce Analytics, every Salesforce user has a 24/7 analyst turning data into actionable insights right in the flow of work.
Thank you, Steve. Great job. Now, Reka, what stands out to you about that demo?
Awesome demo. I think the beauty of this is, again, coming back to where you work, the Salesforce, the Slack, the Agentforce, it's right there. And honestly, one of my most favorite features about all of this is like at Salesforce, we are the customer zero for our products. I said this earlier, as a CMO, my team and I live and drown in Slack. We use a lot of Tableau and analytics to do our day-to-day job. But the beauty of bringing all of that together on one screen within where we work is the most powerful feature that we have. And I cannot stress how much this has changed instantly, the way we communicate, the way we collaborate, because I don't have to, open my dashboard to see where things are at and then send it out to 10 different team members to activate or act something, right? Now I know that we have a gap in pipeline on my data in one of the regions, or my campaign is not doing well, and before I can even ask my team to take action, my team's already on top of it. So that is how fast we can move, and that's how efficient we can be, which means we get to do more things that we love, which is doing these videos and talking to all of our customers. So,
is there anything to add?
Yeah, I think that the demo is amazing. Thanks, Steve and John. One of the things that might not have been apparent in that demo is you might look at it and saying, hey, that's really nice, and it's all pre-built, and I love that, that's a ton of value, but what if my business is a little bit different than yours? And I say, oh, that's a good point. Under the covers, the actionability, which is critical and amazing, is actually built leveraging a workflow engine. So if your workflow wants to be a little bit different, it's literally drag and drop. You are not writing code. This is not a separate workflow engine. It's all part of the product. And that's different. It's a full, again, power of the platform, as Rick said earlier. And then if I want to change a workflow and I want to have a record level action, or I want to have a Slack or something else, you can do that really quickly. The second part, obviously we love Slack and everybody loves using Slack. But if you're unfortunate enough to have to use Teams, it also works with Teams.
Good to know. Okay, well, next we are going to hear from someone who is helping to build these products, Crystal Hoyer, Vice President of Product Management. And now she's going to take us under the hood to see how this all works. Welcome, Crystal.
Wonderful. Thank you. We just saw how Salesforce Analytics delivers AI-powered insights in the flow of work. But for most people, the first question is always, can I trust these numbers? Tableau Semantics is that answer. Think about Tableau Semantics as the bridge between data and trusted insights that ensures your AI isn't just fast, it's accurate. It translates your data into business language that your entire company can use. Earlier, Emma walked us through a variety of purpose-built analytics for Salesforce, including the metrics most relevant to sales, service, and marketing teams. We've all been in meetings where 2 departments show up with different churn or revenue numbers. Sother talked about that earlier as well. Your Tableau semantic model enables you to have just one consistent definition that all analytics are built off of. You can start from scratch, or you can also get started fast with a Customer 360 semantic model, which you're seeing right here, which my team has spent some time building, so I'm extra proud of that. Think of it as a pre-configured blueprint or template that already knows key Salesforce metrics and business context you need to start driving value on day one. But we know every business is unique, so we've made the semantic model composable and extensible, meaning you can enrich it with data from across your business. Let's take Salesforce data. If you expand from sales into service, you gain cross-cloud insights like how case volume impacts sales pipeline without the heavy lifting. Or second, shout out to all of our CRM analytics users out there. You've built impressive things over the years. You can leverage all that work you put into building data flows, recipes, and predictive models and bring those right over. Your CRM analytics investments can shape, build, and design your semantic model. Finally, going beyond your Salesforce data, you can easily plug in external data from third-party applications, like real-time inventory levels, via our open data layer. Now you've got your semantic model. Let's see how it powers trusted AI. Now let's be honest, the biggest fear with AI is you don't know exactly what's going on. How can you trust that the answers we are getting are accurate if you can't see how it's working? With Q&A calibration, we've given you the tools you need to ensure your agents deliver trusted responses. You can test, calibrate, and verify responses so you can move from hoping it works to knowing it's right before it hits the front lines. This is a question we saw at the very beginning of the demo. What are the top accounts that have opportunities at risk? It is a question that's asked by sales reps all the time, so its accuracy is crucial. In this case, the agent isn't able to respond because it needs more detail. Fortunately, Tableau Semantics automatically suggests how to calibrate it. It recommends that I create a new business preference. Every company has its own jargon. At Salesforce, we talk about ACV, net new AOV. Your company might have its own specific definitions for a healthy account or an at-risk deal. Here, Q&A calibration recommends that I create a business preference to find at-risk accounts, and it even automatically generates a definition for me. So let's put that in. Now that I've calibrated the response, I go back and test the question by asking my agent. And this time, the agent understands what I mean when I say at-risk and gives me an accurate answer. We've moved from raw data to AI-powered insights the whole company can trust. This is how you power agentic analytics with data that is connected, context-rich, and verified.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Great job. All right, Southern, what's the key value here for business users?
At the beginning of the conversation, we started talking about trust. And I think after that demo, you saw that you can actually trust the answers that you're getting from your agent. And many of us, and earlier I talked about if you're not using Gemini or ChatGPT, many of us have probably had that experience. We're using one of those great tools and you got an answer back and you're like, I'm not really sure about that. Well, this is a case, this is a business. This is not just your personal situation. So you do really want to trust that. And I think you just saw that with what we've done behind the covers. And the next part I saw is that the way that we created that semantic model, time to value, pre-built, all those things everybody loves, got me to get started fast. But yes, your business might be unique. It probably is unique the way you define it. So we've given you that extensibility really quickly, easily done. And that's what gives you value fast as well.
To add to what Sadat said, I think the key piece here also is the unified portfolio. I mentioned the word interoperability, which literally means that you can work together across all of the products. And because these products are actually built to work together and they're not stitched, it actually makes it a lot more seamless. So if you have an existing investment, this means that you do not have to rip and replace. You can add on to your existing investments, evolve at your own pace, and most importantly, you're also ready for what's coming next. And all of this is grounded in trust. The insights that you get, the actionability that you can take are based on the data that you understand and that's governed and the teams and your teams can rely on. So you move faster and you can bring your AI and agents together to more involved, and it helps you move with confidence and not guesswork.
I'm sure that's music to our customers' ears. Yeah. Well, and speaking of customers, we've got a great one joining us right now. Reddit is supercharging its sales teams to make smarter, faster decisions with Salesforce Analytics and seeing some amazing results. Teams are saving a ton of time, making them way more productive. They're actually gaining more than, get this, 5,000 hours in sales productivity each week. And now we're going to hear exactly how they did it.
I want the 5,000 hours too, but the cool part about the story is we all know Reddit. And I have to tell you, I'm a huge fan. I love Reddit. You can see my phone. It's one of my top used apps. And the best part is you've been doing a lot with AI. I've seen you evolve. We've had a conversation about it. And the fact that all of that is still grounded on that data is pretty cool. So I would love to invite John Thompson. He's our go-to-market of strategy and ops vice president of Reddit, and he's here to join us today. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Love being here.
So excited to have you here. While we were talking, you mentioned this tax, right, that the sellers pay when they're not getting those insights right where they work. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Reddit as a community platform has been around for 20 plus years, but our commercial operations is much more nascent. And so like many businesses in hypergrowth, our business scaled a lot faster than our foundations. And what this resulted in is really a cottage industry of different well-intended sales leaders and operations professionals across different geos and regions, building their own flows, building their own dashboards, creating their own definitions for metrics. And you can imagine just the fragmentation that this creates across the business. Running your business as a sales rep at Reddit, a couple of years ago, was almost more like choose your own adventure versus having a really defined flow of this is the source of truth metric, this is the source of truth dashboard, this is how I'm expected to run my business. And so that tax is really just comes from a lack of or sort of inhibition to our sales productivity, hurts productivity, hurts trust in the data. And reps spend a lot of time reconciling data between dashboards and, again, not knowing what was accurate. And so that was really like the nexus for the Homebase project for us.
Love that.
That's super cool. So you had sales Homebase, then you had some native analytics, and you brought those things together. Like, how has that changed the way the team has worked?
Yeah, so our ambition with Homebase was to really make it a rep's home base. We want it to be the destination, that the first place they go every single morning. And the challenge at a media company like Reddit is you have many different data sources. You have your CRM data sources, you have your ad server and the campaign analytics and customer analytics, all living in different places. And so our goal with Homebase was to really stitch these things all together to make it that single source of truth, to make that the destination that launches all our different workflows. And it was really important for us to, as we stitch this data together, enable a rep to take on and do their tasks that are basically are relevant for their day-to-day, right? And so whether that's running their forecast process, whether that's understanding how their campaigns are delivering, we want to make it that single source of truth where if a customer is getting an alert of how to optimize one of their campaigns, the rep is getting that same alert. And so that centralization was really critical for us in this project.
Interesting.
I love that, and I do want to talk a little bit about results, right? Like we heard the 5,000 hours result, but how, with everyone on your sales team using Salesforce Analytics, how did you bridge the gap between business and IT to establish Salesforce as that single source of truth for all your seller organizations?
It was a big undertaking, and so I think the first thing we did was to have centralized ownership of the data sources, centralized definition, and getting those definitions of different metrics aligned across teams was absolutely critical. But the other thing that I think we did a good job of it was really just like listening to reps, listening to managers, and having that feedback loop being continuous was just like critical for us to drive adoption and find success in this. Like, as you sort of referenced a couple times during the session today, like data consistencies drives that lack of trust, and sales reps will do what they need to do to get their jobs done. And so they'll put the extra hours in to find a different path if it works better for them, if it's more accurate. And so it was really important for us to build trust and have this be centralized as the source of truth across Reddit.
Very cool. Well, first off, congratulations. It's amazing work. Yeah. And also being part of an amazing hypergrowth company, that's got to be exciting. So some of the things you saw today were some what we might call agentic analytics capabilities. And maybe you can share a little bit about how you're thinking about adopting agentic analytics as you evolve your analytics strategy.
Yeah, it's certainly an exciting time with obviously AI and LLMs being more prevalent in go-to-market motions today. And so I think one hand, you have the democratization of data, and so making it easier to access for execs. I think a lot of our workflows in the past have been going on Slack, finding that green dot of who in sales ops is online right now, and then asking a bunch of questions right before you walk into a customer meeting. Yep. And so having that agentic, more conversational analytics of I'm about to walk in a meeting with Salesforce, what are they spending on Reddit relative to their peers? Like, how can I position, this pitch is super powerful to, again, put that data in real time in the hands of reps and managers and execs. I think the second thing that we're starting to see with, again, this agentic future is it's changing the way we think about just our go-to-market in general. And so how can we, again, leverage the power of AI to build customized workflows and nurturing flows for new customers, leveraging things like the type of conversations on Reddit a brand is having, right? And so it's allowing us to do things in real time that even just 3-4 years ago seemed like so futuristic. And so it's really exciting how the future is now that we're able to drive incredible productivity and growth through agents and LMs.
Awesome. Yeah. Very exciting. Personalized insights for every single individual customer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, that's the future. But John, thank you so much for joining us today and also being a huge, huge advocate for Salesforce Analytics and how you bring that into your sellers organization. Thank you. And with that, back to you.
Yes, thank you, John. Southard, Reka, and thank you so much to everyone at home who's joined us here in the studio. And this has been how to unlock the power of your Salesforce data with analytics. But the fun doesn't end here. Go on, mark your calendars, Data Fam, because coming your way this spring, it's the big data of them all, Tableau Conference 2026. You do not want to miss this. We're heading back to the San Diego Convention Center on May 5th through 7th. And of course, you can catch it all live on Salesforce Plus. Tableau Conference 2026 is plotting something big, and you'll want to be where it all intersects. Expect top-tier insights and all the Data Fam energy you can chart. Registration opens soon. You can use code TC26CRMA to save 25% off a conference pass. But before we go, we want to hear from you. What did you think of this event? Take a short survey on your Salesforce Plus experience. It won't take long, we promise. Just scan the QR code on your screen or click the button in the chat below. Your feedback really does matter to us. So for everyone here, thank you so much for watching. I'm Diane Mizota, and we'll see you next time.